What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Pears On A Pod. You've got myself, Anthony Alessiani, back for another edition, and my favourite co-host, Jack Hudson. Hello. How are you, mate?
Could be better. Footy could be better. Everything could be better. But no, I'm very glad to be here tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, we are very glad. This is the light, the shining light in what's been a pretty dull first couple of days, and we get to talk to a man who is a pretty well-known figure in the Port Adelaide community, and also the Richmond community, playing 153 games, 48 of those for Port Adelaide, 44 goals for Port Adelaide, and 98 in total. One of those goals for Port Adelaide was the goal of the year in 2014 against his old side, Richmond, at what was then known as Etihad Stadium.
Now they're starting to run, and away goes White.
No support.
Tucks it under his arm. Have another bounce, and he does. Morris gets chased. He just puts the foot on the accelerator. He draws away. What a magnificent run. Can he cap it off with a goal? Yes, he can. One of the goals of the year.
The goal of the year.
I now introduce our guest for this evening, Matty White. Matty, welcome to Pears On A Pod.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me and letting me know I was too short of the 100. Thanks. I kicked 1,000 and I'm too short of 100.
Maybe mid-season draft might be able to fix that.
Oh, the 10, 15 kilos that I'm carrying extra from playing days is probably saying no to that.
You can set it full forward, mate. It'll be all right.
Yeah, if I don't have to run, wrestle, touch anyone, be tackled, tackle, do anything at all, I'll be pretty good full forward.
All the fundamentals of football.
Exactly.
Matty White out of the cage. I don't mind that, actually. Matty, what's been happening with you since leaving the AFL world? What have you been up to recently, and how have you been tracking?
Yeah, going really well. Obviously, 2 years of lockdown over here in Victoria, so that was fun. I learned how to make a whole lot of cocktails and learned that I do like to drink alcohol, so that was great. Now I went pretty much straight into the workforce, sales rep for a steel perforator, a couple of years of local footy. Obviously with COVID, we got to stop that. A little bit of travelling before that. New York, Aruba, Jamaica, India, a few other places. And then,
bloody hell.
Yeah, somehow ended up back in footy this year and coaching down at Coburg VFL, where I was originally, before I got drafted to Richmond, I was signed with Coburg to play senior footy there and luckily got drafted. So back to almost grassroots footy, but still going up against AFL clubs.
Yeah, it's been. I'm sure the life, especially with COVID and that, would have been a little bit of a tough adjustment. I know, Hutto doesn't play local footy, but me playing local footy, it was a very different vibe. I just wanted to know as well, the adjustment from after footy, after leaving Port at the end of 2017. Did you find that easy, difficult, or was it a little bit different?
It's definitely different. Not having rules and reasons not to do something was thrown out the window. So my wife actually went overseas for 4 weeks and left me at home and thought nothing of it. And actually turned out I was on a 4-week bender. So had to rein it back in, drinking every night and eating a whole lot of crap and partying every weekend and then trying to rock up to work each day. But good support around me. So whenever anything got a little bit weird, a little bit hard, I had enough people to pull me aside and pull my head in. And still weird though, just to think you don't have the time and the 8 weeks off, 10 weeks off a year, or what is it now, like 20 weeks off that the AFL guys get now. It's been good. It's nice to be able to go and do things and act out and not have the repercussion of the media coming down on you.
How do you reckon you would have coped in the hub in 2020?
Well, I found out that a lot of guys were just playing golf flat out. So I would have loved it. Would have been sitting there just, all right, we'll go to training, we'll go to the gym. All right, boys, we're staying on the golf course. I'll be like, all right, see you later. I'll come back for the meeting at 2. Go back out there afterwards. So I would have done all right and get away from the missus would have been great.
Jeez. I reckon Hutto would have loved the hub life as well, the getting out and about and not staying at home all the time.
Yeah, if I had my Xbox, I'd have been set for life.
Yeah.
That was another thing I heard. They had a lot of video game sessions and a lot of. I heard the Richmond boys were having, even though they won the flag up there, they were having cheese and wine nights. And one of the development coaches was getting the boys like after a game, I think it was, or say they played on a Saturday, on a Sunday, they'd get a big cheese board and meats and stuff, and they'd all come in and have a glass of wine and a debrief in somebody's room.
ISO hubs sound awesome.
Exactly. I don't know why we all didn't go up there.
Oh, I'm actually so envious. Golf, video games, cheese and wine nights. ISO sounds awesome.
Jeez.
Wouldn't be too bad.
Matty, you still sticking around with the golf and still getting a hit out?
Yeah, still trying to be better constantly, upgrading things constantly, failing at doing both constantly. So, no, I'll try and get out at least once a week, twice a week if I can. Footy's going to get in the way of that this year, but now joined up at a club over here. Still kept my Grange membership. So I'm an interstate member at the Grange still. I can't let that one go, but I got a nice course over here and joined up a good social club. So we travel all over Victoria playing golf. But yeah, as I said, with footy getting in the way, I thought, footy would be great. I'll get back into it. Now I've realised I can't go to the snow. I can't play golf on the weekend. Crap.
All right. Well, before we move on into the showdown, it's great to hear that you're doing a really good job with life at the moment. Hutto, I'm going to ask you one simple question. What, besides the goal of the year, because I've watched that many times from Matty White, and there's been countless others as well.
Yep.
What is your favourite Matthew White moment?
Okay, I've got. Can I have a couple?
Yes. All right. Have a couple.
The first one would be coming off the bench as a sub, because you left Richmond because you were sick of being a sub, and then you became a sub at the showdown.
Yeah, that was great.
Then running into open goal, burning the life out of Johnny Butcher and kicking a ridiculous goal, and celebrating with the Port logo. What was going through your head at that moment?
It sounds bad, but not so bad. It was a bit of a tradition sort of thing that happened at Richmond where you sort of have a come from behind win or something and you kick a crucial goal and you grab on the jumper as a bit of, I'm Richmond, this is the Richmond way, here we come. And I did that, I reckon there would have been 4 or 5 goals. I did that at Richmond and grew up a Richmond supporter, played at Richmond, loved the club. I was like, I have to prove my first goal that I kicked for Port Adelaide. First one, I have to pull the jumper and show that I'm not a Richmond person anymore.
Yeah.
It wasn't a stick it up, you guys, fuck you for not giving me the games I wanted and all the rest of it. It was I've got to prove that I'm not a Richmond player anymore. So it was preempted that the first goal, and I was hoping it was going to happen the week before. I played a pretty shit game, which is why I ended up back in the sub vest. And it was just a preempted. I've got to prove that I'm a Port Adelaide person now, not a Richmond player.
Yeah. I loved that goal. That goal was, I think, my favourite moment of that showdown, despite the fact we absolutely pantsed them. I just loved it. The celebration, the crowd was going nuts. I left that game with a migraine. I don't know what your memories were of that, Ian.
I remember not much. Let's be honest. I do remember getting the free T-shirt from the seat. That was a good one.
I didn't get that.
Got that here somewhere.
Have you?
Yeah, I think the wife has got it. We kept a lot of stuff. Sorry, I keep looking over there because there's a whole lot of footy gear hiding around the corner. I'm sort of seeing if I can see anything.
Oh, you got to show Ant your scarf, Matty.
Oh yeah, the Port Adelaide scarf.
Oh,
with my badge on it.
I love that.
I wore to the footy last year.
That is elite. That's real alpha move, having a scarf with your own badge on it.
Yeah, I thought so. Didn't work. But,
the other memory I had, and this is very left field and it was off field. So when Maddie joined Port, they put up a social post about saying, what nicknames should we give to our new recruits? Now, Maddie, do you remember one of the really random nicknames you got at the time?
No.
Oh, okay. I remember you putting on your Instagram.
Oh, God, here we go. No
Trust
idea.
Hutto for a stitch up.
I'll enlighten you. I'm pretty sure the words were paceful.
Oh, yes. I remember that. That's something out of FIFA or something?
Yes.
Yes, I remember that. I still didn't understand. I never was a FIFA player, so I heard that come out. I just started laughing at it. It was an interesting one.
I must confess, that was me.
Oh, bullshit. Oh, that's the best.
It was like fast. I love playing FIFA. Mix them together. It'll make sense.
I'm lost for words.
Sorry for that, Matty.
That is brilliant.
But yeah, that was my other one, Ant. So try and top that.
Yeah, thank you for the great nickname. It bode well at home too. So
I did it really. Oh, excellent. This has worked out well.
I don't think I can top that. I just remember there's two. Probably both. I mean, I loved what you did on the field. You were fast, quick, but the off-field stuff, your personality showcased on Port's social media. The best one was when you hosted. Do you remember the segment Renault Team Talk?
Oh, yes, the one with Hammer.
Yeah, but there was a couple that you took over, and there was one with Hammer inside the ice bath, I think.
The very first one I did there. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask about that experience because that was a whole different genre for people watching for social media.
It was weird. It was very. We're sitting there. We're literally in our budgie smugglers, and in a hot bath, two sweaty men, him with a microphone and the camera in our faces. And if you watch the clip back, by the end of it, the two of us are pissing sweat just because of how hot it was in the bath. As soon as it was done, we both jumped out, and I hated the ice bars. I absolutely hated them. I jumped out of that hot spa 2 seconds after it was done and head first into the ice bath. I was like,
bloody hell.
Ridiculous, but funny.
Oh,
that's insane. And you've also got the flame tattoo. Is that still going?
Still got the flame tattoo. The rest of the calf and shin have been done as well. A mate of mine over in Adelaide fixed me up my last year at Port, did the back of my leg. And when I finished up, he did the front of my leg. Yeah. But stupidly, he has been rude to me, old lads, and won't touch the flame to make it match the rest of the tattoo. He goes, you got it when you were 19. You got to live with it now, you dumbass. I'm like, oh, thanks, mate. Awesome. So I've got this brightly coloured flame tattoo on the bottom of my ankle and nice blacked out portraits and stuff on the rest of my leg.
Oh, that's good. That's a good stitch up.
Hello, do you remember Matty will remember it as well, I think, but the segment they used to do on the footy show when Hughesy used to come out and give sprays?
Oh, that was the worst day ever.
Yes, I just wanted to quickly ask you, Whitey, how was that? Because for us, I thought, some of them were pretty good from other teams. I thought when they got to us, Hughesy butchered it. But there was a couple of pieces that didn't quite make sense. Just tell us about the experience of that.
Well, we'd all, like everybody else had seen a few of the sprays throughout the year, we all thought this was going to be pretty funny and a couple of guys were going to get roasted. I think the Westie bit about being called Humphrey was funny.
That was very good.
There was another bit that was kind of funny. The flame tattoo, he didn't quite get it right. So everyone was just like, oh, that's a bit of a letdown. That was a running gag since I've fucking had it. And then he mentioned something about the prelim, and it was just like everybody just hated him. And I don't know if I've never been a comedian on stage, but it was like a proper flop where he was like, "Yeah, all right, see you boys, I'm out of here," and like ran out of the meeting room.
Oh dear God. So
Oh no!
it was actually as bad as it looked on TV. Yeah, that's
It was
incredible.
horrible. Yeah, it was really bad.
Oh,
A couple of laughs early, then died down, and then it was just daggers from all of us in the room just wanting to kill him.
I think my favourite reaction in that whole one was Matty Lobe sitting there with the biggest face palm, just ready to jump him.
Yeah, Lobes would have. Lobes did say something afterwards. I can't remember what it was, but he was not a happy man. The
Was it
big
interesting?
redhead got a red head on, and he was ready to go him.
It doesn't strike me as an angry bloke, old Lob.
Only when you really piss him off. You really pissed him off.
Otherwise, most of the time, the things he says are interesting. Isn't that right, Hutto?
Yes. We got to get to the bottom of who runs that page, but yes.
I'm still waiting for that.
Matty, you mentioned that you have some old footy merch in the back. Is it old Port stuff?
Yeah, I did put up a post ages ago. So when I first moved back, I pretty much kept all of my footy jumpers. There's been some that I've given away to friends and family, and I don't know why. I just can't seem to force myself to part with them.
I've got one that if you can have it back if you want. It's a training top of yours.
Hey, I can go with the other 50 jumpers that I've got hanging out the back there.
Oh, yeah, so I got this one as well because you were my favourite player at the time. There you go. Big 19 on the back for the training top. But yes.
I don't even think I've got that one. But no, I don't need any more. There's 50 odd or something. I can't remember the number. There was like 40 or 50 odd jumpers.
Bloody hell.
And it turned out 8 years at Richmond got me 15 or 16 jumpers, and 4 years at Port got me double.
What?
Because we had the home strip, the wide away strip. There was pre-season jumpers, long sleeve jumpers, the Clash away strip, and then all the other jumpers that we played in. So like the throwback 2004 jumper that we wore against Brisbane in 14. Jumper we wore for round 1 in 2016, which I think is still cut from getting me out of it.
Oh, jeez.
So I couldn't lift my arm up because that was a day I tore my pec.
That's right.
That's right.
I don't know. There's that many jumpers. I tried to find my goal of the year jumper because I wanted to frame that with the little medallion that I got, the boots I've still got. So I wanted to put all that in a frame, but I couldn't find the right white jumper because the white jumper that I've got has got the different logo of Renault on the back or Energy Australia or whoever it was at the time.
Oh, jeez.
I think I've got the wrong jumper.
So someone else has got your one. Hopefully
I think so. It's gone.
Hopefully you didn't give that one away because that sucked.
No, I definitely didn't. I made sure that I knew what number was written on it too. So the white jumper I've got in there says 2. I'm like, yeah, that was the one that I wore because I checked it after the game.
Right.
Like, yeah, I've got to make sure I get this one.
Yeah, good.
Did you keep the 2014 elimination final Prison Bar Guernsey?
I certainly did. I had that straight into. Well, actually, I was still wearing it when I went to hospital, so I never had to give it back. So somebody has bought my match worn in bracket, jersey that I actually took home and it never got washed, and then I had all 22 blokes sign it.
Oh, nice.
Got it all signed there, hanging up to be hopefully framed at some point. I've done no framing. It's been 4 years. Got milestone games, goal of the year game, prison bar, and there was another one I was going to do. All to be framed. They're all hanging up on the one hanger so I can take it all in. And, they're just sitting in there doing fuck all.
I rate that. But 2014, the final series, I did want to ask you. You got belted from pillar to post in that, but you kept playing. How did you get through that? It was incredible.
Painkillers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I figured that.
Painkillers. That was a fun 3 weeks. So I had going into that final series, I actually had osteitis pubis.
Oh, bloody
Oh,
hell.
no way.
And what I found out afterwards is I had stress fractures on my pelvis because of it.
Whoa.
So pre-game, doctor straight into my groin with painkillers, plus oral painkillers. Fractured my jaw in the second quarter of that game, which was just delightful.
That's right. You were subbed out, weren't you?
Yeah, so I actually tried to come back on. They gave me the red vest.
Yeah.
And if you remember the Hammer and Stevie Morris clash at
Yes.
the Hill End, I started taking it off because they'd given it to me and hadn't quite put it on yet. So I started like ripping the red vest off. I'm like, nah, I'm not going. I couldn't move my mouth. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. Fuck, if Hammer's out, I'm in. And like, no, mate, we're 15 goals up and it's halfway through the second. You can fuck off now. Like, yeah, cool. Yeah, good call. Good call, Ken. I'll go to the hospital. Hammer seems to be breathing, so that's fine.
That was a gutsy
then
goal.
Get through the Freo game relatively unscathed. But that was an interesting moment of my life, having two club doctors injecting me in my groin whilst I had my own private dentist at the game injecting my jaw.
Whoa.
Oh, my God.
To then go up against Hawthorn the next week. I'm pretty sure I was knocked out in that hit from Duray because I don't remember any of it.
Shit, that's right.
That then fractured my collarbone.
Holy
Oh.
shit.
So
Oh, my God.
at half time, I had I can remember this bit. The doctors coming up to me at half time going, right, in you go. Injections in the groin, dentist going into my mouth, and as one come out of my groin, another one went straight into my shoulder to do my collarbone.
It's
Oh,
like
my.
It's like we wrapped him
God.
up like a mummy and just sent him back out there still. Bloody hell, mate. That's unreal. That's true Port Adelaide.
Yeah, I still don't know what Kenny said to me at 3/4 time. He came up to me and he was like giving me some sort of like rev up, and all I heard was genuine gibberish. Wait, man, we're going to win this game and I'm going to play next week. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have tried to play the week after, but 3 points in the end, so wrapped it up and went and got fixed up.
How is Kenny as a coach? I've always been curious. What was he like for you?
I got along with him really well. For me, I was probably a little bit more old school than what the younger guys were. Obviously, been around a lot longer, but I told him not to sugarcoat it for me. He did for probably half of 2015. And that first half when we were all playing sort of poorly. And I knew I was playing shit, but he kept telling me I was playing well. And I got to the point where I went in and had a chat to him and just said, mate, you need to stop pissing in my pocket. I need you to tell me. So for the next 2 weeks, he berated me.
Just one extreme to the other.
Told me, came back from a hamstring, told me if I didn't play well, I was on the cusp of getting dropped. So I think I kicked 2 against Essendon, but didn't do anything else for the game.
Yeah.
Because I kicked goals, they couldn't drop me, or so they said. And then playing Hawthorn at Etihad a week or 2 later and doing the warm-up, he comes up to me, puts his arm around me and goes, if you don't play well, you're not fucking playing next week.
Bloody hell.
Oh, okay, cool.
No worries,
Thank
Kenny.
you. I went out and played well. But no, I liked him. He was good for me, looked after me, and told me to get me across to the club, told me exactly what I needed to do to play, and he did the same when I was there. It was like, if you want to play senior footy, this is what you have to do. And even my last year when I got the milestone game, Gussie Monfrey's in for the showdown after the St Kilda win. And I think we lost to Melbourne.
Yep.
I can't remember. But they brought Gussie Monfrey's in for me. And then for the rest of the year, it was like, mate, I want to pick you, but you've got X, Y, Z that are in front of you in a half-forward position. You've got Polly, Cull, Amon, on the wings, so you're not going to play there. Potential for you to go down back, so start playing you down back in the Maggies. And then it was Hammer and Riley Bonner and Dan Houston was there. And it's like, well, I'm probably not going to come in there. I'm on the back end. And then bit of a shit phone call at the end. But as a coach, while you're playing, it was, I loved him.
Yeah.
How was you mentioned the end journey before. How was it coming in at the start? Like coming from Richmond, the transition to Adelaide and to Port Adelaide in particular. I think you came over as a free agent, and just tell us about the transition from going from a club like Richmond to coming to Port Adelaide with such a history and that type of culture.
Yeah, it's a different world, Port Adelaide and Adelaide to Melbourne. Richmond was it's a massive club, as we all know, and even through shit times, they were a massive club. Port Adelaide being a smaller club from what everyone knew in Melbourne anyway, coming into a club with probably more history and just as much prestige, really. They're the working class club of the Wharfies and all the rest of it. And then you get there and you're like, well, hold on a sec. This place is fucking huge. The history that comes with it is amazing. And we weren't really taught that as young guys going into Richmond. It was, this is a Richmond footy club, you should know. And I, being a Richmond supporter growing up, knew. So all the greats that had been there I knew about and heard stories and loved it all. And getting to learn the Port Adelaide story and seeing the difference of the players as well. Richmond liked their toys. Everyone had flash cars and you get bagged out for driving a beat up old Celica like I did, or a Holden Barina that I'd steal off my mum because it was cheaper to run on fuel, to rocking up at Port Adelaide. And I drove the wife's Nissan Micra the first 8 months at Port Adelaide and just walked in with my head down and didn't want people to see me get out of the car until the day I saw Jared Pollock rock up in a brand new BMW. And the first thing that happened that day was, Polly, out the front, please, mate. Want to tell everyone what you just did? And then he got berated for the next 10 minutes for buying a nice car.
Oh, excellent. That's what I like to hear.
No, it was great. Like the reason for the move was to play footy, and the club was there to say, right, if you're here, and I think it's with a lot of the guys, if you're at Port Adelaide, you're here to play footy. And as I said, 2 years ago, we exist to win premierships. And they were like, right, well, you're here. We were going to win a premiership. You better pull your finger out and play some good footy.
Yep. That's really good to hear. And that Jared Pollock thing probably might just top that tonight so far. But I wanted to talk about as well, as we move into the showdown, the fans. How was it for you? Richmond, we know, are phenomenal fans. I went to the 2019 grand final and hearing the chant and the song is massive. But then coming back and being with Port Adelaide, 50,000, singing Never Tear Us Apart. How was that experience for you being a player on the field during the time it was actually born?
It's crazy to think about it because Ben Cousins' first game with Richmond, I think there was like 85, 90,000. And at the time, Richmond, we were shit. We weren't playing good. We were finishing just outside the 8 or bottom of the 8 most of the time. We had 80, 90,000 fans there that were both Richmond and Carlton fans, but they were still Cuzzy fans. So that was loud, and that was the loudest crowd I'd ever played in front of. And then you go to Port Adelaide and we get a run on, and I think it was the Fremantle game where we were down and we came back, and the noise that the Port Adelaide fans were making was just as loud as that 85, 90, because it was all just one group of fans. There was 5,000 people down at the river end, and everyone's like, you guys just shut the fuck up now. We're coming back. And it just got louder and louder and louder. And even, I sort of remember the start of the prelim against Hawthorn had nothing on the noise of the elimination final against Richmond at the Oval. And Kenny actually said to me on the Thursday. Whenever the team was selected, he goes, "You're starting on the Pine." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, massive game, playing my old club. He goes, "Exactly. We're playing your old club. They're going to get into you. The crowd's going to get into you. You're not going to be able to hear shit. So take it all in for the first 5 minutes." I'm like, "All right, fair enough." And yeah, deafening. So I was glad I started on the Pine and watched the first 5 goals get piled on in the first 5 minutes.
It was bloody magic, that was. It was so good.
Yes.
You mentioned we'll get into the showdown, I'd say.
Yes.
And
let's do it.
that crowd was insane, that first one. Like I said to you before, I left with a migraine, but because obviously that was your first Port Adelaide home game.
Yeah.
So how was it the whole day?
Sitting on the Pine for almost 3/4 of it, it was
The sub.
It was
Sub.
yeah, it was intense. Like the first time hearing "Never Tear Us Apart," and the crowd hadn't quite got into it yet. Like they were singing along, but hadn't really hit their straps. But it was actually fun to be able to sit there for most of the game and actually soak it in and see what the Port Adelaide crowd are really like and how they just got up and about. And it was pretty tight for probably the first half and broke away in the third. But yeah, they were just nuts. And obviously the first one at Adelaide Oval, I think I've got the photo in the corner there because all the players got a photo of the ground from the river end. You can actually see me, a very green speck on the bench. But no, it was just crazy. It brings up good memories thinking about what the crowd was like, and especially in showdowns, beating the Crows it's good fun.
Embracing that straight up, that's good.
Well, I kind of had to. I forget what they did.
The state Guernsey.
Oh, that's what it was. Like I'm a Victorian. Born in Victoria, lived in Perth for a couple of years as a real little fella. I lived in Adelaide for a little bit of time as a young fella. But I'm a Victorian. Wore the big V jumper as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old. Made the squad in the under-18s and got injured, so I didn't get to wear it there. Get support. Don't know about the rivalry, but don't know the extent of it. Like knew the fights and all the rest of it. They come out and said, I think it must have been December or January. Crows come out and said, we're the team for all of South Australia. We want to wear the South Australian state Guernsey.
Yep.
And the bloke who said it was Patrick Dangerfield. It's like, fuck off. Why the fuck do you want to wear that fucking jumper? You guys are a bunch of... And then I was just like, I'm in. Let's go. We're gonna fuck these blokes up. Let's do it.
That is the best ever. That is the best. Oh, goodness me.
That's gold.
Blew them off the bloody park, which is always good. Aside from that showdown, Matty, did you have another favourite?
That was good. We played the next year. I think it was their home game. And there was a goal I kicked running into the river and with Riley chasing me. That was funny.
It was on the flank too, I think, right in front of the scoreboard.
No, other side. It was members'
the other side,
running that way. And ran all the way in and tried to boot the ball as far as I could over into the river. And then there's the clip of me celebrating by sticking my tongue out and laughing. I think we won that one. But that first one, I don't know. That first one just sticks with me because as much as people probably don't want to hear about this, after the game, we all went into the change rooms. First game at Adelaide Oval. Had the big win. Had all of the guys who weren't playing in the room. I think they'd played the day before or something. But everyone had a beer. And we're all in there. We're in the change room, in the ice bars, in the spas, having beers, and really just soaking it in. That's definitely the thing I remember the most out of any showdown.
Yeah, that's what you want too. Like you go in, you come in afterwards, you have a couple of frothies in the ice bar.
Yeah, well, it's the only way you can get through it because they fucking suck.
Unless you're in a spa with Hammer.
Exactly. Yeah. There's just two sweaty men in very skimpy outfits just sweating.
I can't believe I said that was my favourite moment. I'm just
pretty bad. Like, you're okay.
Yeah, I just remember the video and it was hilarious. But now I think saying it out loud, no, I don't know. Speaking of show, did you have a particular moment in the showdown that you thought? I know besides the state Guernsey and kicking goals was good, but the fieriness, like the fights and verbal abuse, anything that stood out that made you think, oh yeah, I'm in a rivalry, I'm in a showdown.
I wasn't out there for the first bit where it was really hot. So by the time I came on and did my little bit, the game had sort of lost a bit of spice because they realised they weren't going to come back. But there was always just, I wasn't much of a yapper. I was a little sniper because I had Gussie Monfries, who was one of the best on the lip. And I had Schultzy that down forward. So I used to just sort of stir Gus up to then start chatting. He'd get into a fight, so I'd run past and snipe someone, and then I'd quickly run behind Schultzy. I'm like, yeah, big man, fight him. But no, there was always just something, like, didn't have to be said during the week. It was just going into a showdown. You just knew that at any point something would go wrong, and you're just like, right, well, we're on. We're going to do this. You want to get in the way. You want to start a fight. We're all in here. Let's do it.
I'm kind of curious now. What was the best Gussie Monfries line that you heard?
Oh, there was so many. I tried to tag Bob Murphy when I was at Richmond and was told, do not talk to him because he will just school you. You just absolutely, like, he's so smart. He's so witty. You could say anything to him and you could say, like, he's a massive Elvis Presley fan. You could say Elvis is the best and he'd, like, flip it, and next thing you know, you're crying in the corner because he just berates you. But I can't remember all the things he said, but Gussie was just at him. And it didn't matter what Bob said. Gus was just like, yep, righto. Elvis is shit. Oh, if you wouldn't know, you're a pleb of this. And he'd just be like, yeah, I am, but you're just a piece of shit too. And just he just wouldn't let up. Just would not let up. You're like, oh, man, like, here I am trying to run past and snipe him and, like, not get into a verbal altercation with him. And Gussie's just like, no, come here. Let's go. Let's just keep going him. I've got nothing.
Oh, that Gussie sounds fun.
Oh, he was brilliant. Brilliant. He called in one from overseas when he had his week off. He got some inside mail on a player and he's like, righto, boys, this is the mail. Get stuck into him. And the bloke we got stuck into actually ended up walking off the ground crying because the boys got into him that bad.
Oh my God.
But I'll keep who that was and what it was about quiet, just because it wasn't a very nice one.
Yeah. Good. A good call, I'd say.
Mm.
Maybe we should get into this week's game on that note, I reckon, Ant.
Yeah, that's actually, yeah, let's do that. That sounds a bit like Hutto, though. He likes to really get on the lip and really start yapping. So wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get into it pretty quickly. But this week's game, have you been keeping an eye on Port Adelaide? What's your thoughts at the moment? It's not looking great as such, but you were actually, Whitey, you were during a time when Port was 0-2 after losing the prelim in 2014. What do you think about this week? Can Port Adelaide bounce back?
Obviously, round one, you're going up against Brisbane. Top four, good position. It was always going to be a tough game. Last week was a bit of a shock, but tended to be the way when I was even at Port. You'd have a big game, and then the week after, you'd sort of just slide a little bit. This week, it's a showdown. There's no way in hell TJ's sitting there accepting the last 2 weeks. Boki will be flat as all hell about losing 2 in a row, and it's a showdown. If they do get Robbie back and he's right to go, well, you know what he's going to do. He's going to win a medal. So
yep.
he's just like, right, well, this is my week. Everyone just clear out. I'll just kick 4 and have 30 and do my thing. But no, with the way that Adelaide's been going, I have to be a no-brainer for me. I'll be picking Port straight off the bat. And especially like it's a home game, isn't it?
Nah, it's Crows' home game on a Friday.
They will definitely win that then.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
It's their home game. They'll shut the crowd up in the first or second quarter, and yeah, I think they'll run away with it. Won't be an easy win. I think it's going to be a bit more hard fought than you think because everyone knows that everyone lifts for a showdown. So even those stinking Crows do. But I know Nixie behind the scenes will be getting the boys all rolled up at Adelaide. So it'll be a pretty good fight, I think.
What was it like playing in front of the Crows crowd? Did they give you much, or as soon as you shut them up, that was it?
Nah, did you know? Surely you would have gone to a Crows home.
Oh yeah, no, I've been there. Don't worry, they're pretty quiet.
You remember the filtered in crowd noise that they'd run through the speaker?
Yeah.
That wasn't a joke. That was a genuine.
Oh my God!
Like you could hear it because the crowd, they'd kick a goal and you'd hear the little claps and
golf clap.
They're all sitting there sipping their wine and all the rest of it. And yeah, they'd have like the crow noise, but the sound would come out of the speaker. Like you'd look around, like they'd kick a goal, and you look around at the crowd, they just wouldn't be doing anything. And yeah, the noise would come out of the speaker.
I copped a bit once at it. Like when I reckon it was 2017 was the last showdown that like the one we got done by about 15 goals. And shit day, shit weather, shit everything. We kicked our second after they kicked the last 11. And me and my mate have just got up, started clapping, going, we're back, we're coming back, just taking the absolute piss. And this old fella with his bloody, with his kid, is just like, oh, looks at me, you're right, mate, you're right. He's like, I'm not being serious. We clearly suck at the moment. Like, what more do you want me to do?
Been serious.
Yeah.
If you're drinking red cans or something, you must have been serious.
Yeah, I needed a bit to drink that day. Not gonna lie.
All right, let's go around the room. Let's get a tip, and then we'll get into some quick fire questions as we go into the segments. Matty, we'll start with you. What's a tip for this week?
Power by 30 odd.
Oh, I like that. That's a good Friday night. Hutto?
Port by 18.
Goals?
No points.
If it does though, if it is an 18-goal win, I think you should probably get him a slab or something.
Done deal, because we'll be drinking it together if it happens.
Yeah.
We'll fly to Melbourne and pick up Whitey and we'll finish it all together.
Love that.
Yeah, I'll get you a ticket, Whitey. You can come over here. I've got round 1 for local footy on Saturday, but I'm more than happy to rock up and win my 18 goals with a slab in my belly. So I'm going to tip Port by 25, I think. Last quarter, we'll run away with it a bit. Matty, this is one of the more prized quickfire questions we've had in a while as a segment, because we do this with all of our Inner Sanctum members that join, and they get absolutely ridiculed with their answers. So expect a bit. Really think about this when you're answering. But this is quickfire questions with Matthew White. Matty, favourite TV show?
I'm going to go The Flash.
The autobiography series.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. Actually, I'm looking here, and just to prove that I'm a big fan of The Flash, that is my driver cover of The Flash.
Yes.
I literally just finished season 7 yesterday, so very exciting times.
Oh, I love that. Your go-to karaoke song?
Oh God.
Flash by Queen.
Pick a Destiny by Tenacious D, or Kickapoo from Tenacious D.
I like that.
Kickapoo.
Yes. I had a lot of nights with a mate of mine getting drunk singing that together, so definitely what we'd go to.
Oh, well, we can do that together if we get that slab on Friday night.
Excellent.
Your favourite Simpson character?
Oh, this is controversial. I'm not a massive Simpsons fan.
Ooh.
So I'll say Bart just because I know him and he rides a skateboard, which I used to do as a kid.
I like that. There's a link there, so that's good.
Safe call.
Say
Safe, yes.
What's yours, Hutto?
What favourite Simpson character? Mr. Burns.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I actually saw a bloke that looked very much like comic book guy the other day. So that was interesting. Bald head, ponytail, gut hanging out.
Oh,
This is not what I expected. Your favourite flavour potato chip?
Oh, it used to be salt and vinegar, but the wife's got me onto the cheese and onion.
Oh, yes.
cheese.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's moved from my favourite to yours, Ant.
Yeah.
Depends what you're eating, though. If I've got a nice cold beer, I've got to go with salt and vinegar. But
100%.
yeah, cheese and onion.
100%.
Run in this house.
Salt and vinegar hits different too when you've had a couple of cans.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. All right. This is actually, I might do this question last, but we'll go to the next one. Doors or wheels? What's there more?
Oh, that's a great question.
It nearly broke.
It'd have to be more doors, would there not?
Yes, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to really think about that.
That's very divisive, that question.
That I'm glad you've just said doors because that's broken a lot of people and a lot of social media.
Yes.
And lastly, this is probably equally controversial. Your favorite shapes flavor?
Oh. Oh. Can't go past pizza shapes. They're good.
Oh.
Love I used to love is it the cheese and bacon ones?
Whoa.
Yes.
Was a big fan of those.
That's left field.
Barbecue, you can't go past. Oh, now I just want shapes.
That's usually what happens.
No. I was camping the other day. Somebody brought out the savoury shapes.
Oh.
Like, what are you doing? All of the flavours, and you bring out savoury.
I hope you chucked them straight in the fire, Matty. Seriously.
No, they tasted bloody good because I hadn't eaten for 2 days. So it was
Great call.
Fair bump. Oh, well, there we go. That's quick fire questions done, Ant. Nicely done. Let's move them.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm still thrown by the doors or wheels. I'm just thrown.
There's another one. There's another question that's like that. What we were talking about it the other day. I can't remember, but
involved windows, I reckon. But
yeah, windows or something. Oh, actually, Matty, do you eat a Maxi Bon? Are you a Maxi Bon fan?
Yes, I am.
Yep.
Biscuit end or chocolate end first?
Oh, chocolate end first. You got to save that biscuit for later. The best bit.
Thank you.
Best bit.
Good.
Actually, I lucked out the other night. Came home, wanted a Maxi Bon. Found out Mrs. ate the last one. Opened it up. Opened it at the wrong end. So she ate the chocolate end, left the biscuit end for me.
Oh yes.
Absolute win.
Yes.
Absolute win.
Oh, that's a big dub, that is. But
she was really upset with herself. I was real happy with her.
Brownie points.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go into our pair player of the week. We'll start with you, Hutto. Who was your player of the week?
Sam Powell-Pepper. Basically, borderline looked like, aside from knowing who you're going to pick, Ant, probably, the only one who looked really above board, I'd say. Pep dominated. He looked like a man possessed. So I was very happy with this game.
Yeah, I completely agree. Matty, did you have a player of the week?
I did have a quick look at the stats after the game. Obviously, Boki gets a lot of the footy. Boki just being Boki, and he's just a pretty man. I'll give it to Boki, but I think Mott's played all right too. So I'll stay with Boki, but Mott's is close second.
Yeah, well, I wish you went with Mott's because Travis Boak was mine.
Of course you'd have a pretty boy. Of course you would.
Yeah, I like
Mr. Adelaide himself.
Oh, I love Travis Boak. That man is godsend. I don't know. I'll ask you quickly, what was it like being his teammate? Because being a fan of him is great.
Man could do no wrong. Like, he's a good player. He's a good looking fella. And he's a nice guy. Like, can't he just be a prick or something?
There's got to be a catch.
Just be an asshole to somebody. Do something controversial. Stop being so good. Mr. Red Bull now. I'm sponsored by Red Bull. Got an infrared sauna in my house.
I'm so glad I asked that.
Oh, my word.
That's brilliant. Let's go to our obscure Port Adelaide player. This is where we pick a Port player that is a little bit lesser known and hasn't been around as long, but was still a great contributor to the club. Hello, let's go with you again. Who's yours this week?
All right, I got a big ruckman. Played between 06 and 08. He played in 11 games for Port and won one of them, which was a bit unfortunate. Big Fabian DeLuca is my obscure Port player. He, the one game he played against Carlton and we won. He had 6 touches. He did kick a goal for Port. That was against Brisbane in 2006. I think, that was the game we were in at half time and then got rolled badly by 12 goals. So
didn't Fabian end up at Carlton?
I think it was his brother, Adrian.
No, I don't know. He's that obscure. I played junior footy against him, and
did you?
When we got drafted, we went 2 different ways, and then I never saw him again.
Oh, there you go.
Matty, did you have one? Have you thought of one?
I don't even know if he played a game. The brother of the greatest full forward of Port Adelaide time, John Butcher.
Yes.
Danny Butcher.
Danny,
what a hairdo too.
The dreadlocks.
He had his long hair back last time I saw him, but that was a couple of years ago now. I'm not sure if he's got the dreadlocks going again or not.
Yeah, I think he shaved them, I think.
He did briefly. Yeah.
I think when I got there, he just got rid of them because he was still playing at the Mags. And then, last I saw him, which was a couple of years ago when I was over there, he'd had him back.
Right.
I don't know if it was the dreads or it was just the long hair.
Either or, bloody hell. Oh, that was elite long hair too.
That was very good, that hair.
Yeah.
Something I could never get.
No. Have you got
that.
I got a haircut today.
Oh, my word.
He stuffed it. All right, I'm not happy. That's why I've got the hat on.
There's a bit going on there, Ant. Gee whiz.
There is a bit going on. That's why we wear the hat. And it feels like the face anyway, so it's fine. My obscure Port Adelaide player is Aaron Shattock.
Hey!
Wore number 12, played 11 games for Port, kicked 1 goal, and that 1 goal was in that draw against Carlton in 2005.
I remember that game. It was really weird to leave after a draw.
I don't know.
Did you ever play in a draw, Matty?
My 50th game, which turned out to be Brett Delidio's 100th game, we drew with North Melbourne at the G.
Oh, that's
And it was an emergency for the infamous Richmond Western Bulldogs draw when Nathan Brown celebrated thinking that we won. So I got to sit in the crowd, watch him. Don't know why I was watching him so closely either, but up he went, celebrated, and I'm like, what are you doing? We just didn't win the game. And then you see him just, oh no, and just cover his face.
Oh, good old celebration after the draw. Pretty sure Joey Montagna did that in a preseason game as well, but that was a draw, which is even worse.
Sounds like something Joey Montagna would do.
All right, let's go into what is the favourite segment that we've introduced. It's of our love child, our favourite player, Hutto's Golden Man. It's a segment we like to call Better Call Sav.
And Salopek finishes.
This is where we talk about Stephen Salopek and his greatest moments. Matty, I'm going to kick off with you, mate. Do you have a favourite Stephen Salopek moment?
Probably the first Port Adelaide Melbourne retirees catch up where we just got absolutely shit-faced.
Yes!
Had a good go on a Wednesday or a Thursday night, I think it was, and it was a good time.
Well, we Timmy G talked about what he was like behind the scenes at the club, professional, and how good he was hard at it. What was he like off the field at the piss up?
Early days, very professional. Talked a lot about work and family, and I think he just finished playing. He was going to play some local footy somewhere. And as the night wore on, the speech started to slur ever so slightly, and mine wasn't any better. Yeah, real loose unit. It was great.
Oh my God.
We love hearing about that. We love hearing little facts about Stephen Salopek. Hutto, what's yours?
Well, I don't know. I'm definitely not going to top that.
No.
05 elimination final. We're pantsing the living shit out of the Kangaroos. And Sal just joins in the party. Just makes it 87 points of margin, deep in the final quarter, and we're all celebrating. We're all having a good time. So that is mine.
Yeah, that was. I watched those highlights the other day. Actually, I was looking because there's not many Stephen Salopek highlights on YouTube, and I'm very, very disgruntled about that.
Well, that's something you can do.
Yeah, I will be doing that.
Surely just get a few tapes from the club and just cut up your own little highlights package for him.
And copy and paste. Yeah.
We're going to, and when we get him on eventually, if we ever do, which is the goal of this whole segment, is to just talk about Stephen Salopek with Stephen Salopek. That's what I'm going to make for him.
I love it.
Mine is actually not a highlight, but if there was one, it was his last goal he kicked, which was against Melbourne in that 2011 game at the Adelaide Oval, first ever AFL game. Amazing little tap from Motlop. But did you know this, boys? Stephen Salopek in 2004, the grand final, actually had glandular fever, and that's why he didn't play.
Oh.
Stiff.
Yeah,
so there's a fun fact for you. You take that home and tell that to every other Stephen Salopek fan.
Yeah. It might be just an echo chamber of us, Ian.
I'll message it to you later. But that wraps up this episode of Pears on a Pod. Matthew White, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, mate, and thank you so much for having a spare few moments to chat. A lot of stories and a lot of Port Adelaide. It's been absolutely great to have you.
No worries. Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, mate. Hutto, farewell. We'll see everyone into the next episode next week.